Welcome along to episode 793 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. Coming up, we've got a lot of shows to talk about. The three we'll be talking about this week are all at the Lichfield Garrick. We've got Coming to England, Julian Robinson letting us know about that show, about the story of Floella Benjamin's arrival in the UK. Sean Aidan letting us know about his production of Frankenstein and a reworking of the Mary Shelley story, which will be brought to the stage in October. Also on the way, we've got the Gruffelo. Now that's coming up later on in September, and we'll be having a chat with both Mouse and the Gruffalo from the show. On top of that lot, we'll be talking to the team at Oddfellows about September's Friendship Month. We find out about the work being done by the Hygiene Bank as we talk to CEO Ruth Brock and a campaign for dental hygiene that they're working on alongside Boots. And we'll also be finding out about the Malvern Autumn show as we talk to horticulturist Martin Fish. That's on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
With the Malvern Autumn show on the way from the 27th through to the 29th of September, a Friday through Sunday, another glorious showing off of the wonderful world of food and, of course, everything else that goes along with it that brings Malvern to life. There's going to be some glorious plants down there to see, as well as the harvest produce. Martin Fish joins me now to tell us something of what they're going to do with some of this stuff down there. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you, Jason. Good to chat to you again.
Well, it's always good to catch up, and I hope to see you down there on the day because we'll be coming from down there too with the show. But I mean, it is always an absolute treat, isn't it, to see what's happening, and it gives a good indicator of the fantastic wide range of produce that the UK produces.
It does, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be mainly in the Harvest Pavilion, but I shall see the rest of the show anyway. But I mean, the Harvest Pavilion, if you've never been, anybody that's listening, it is amazing because I think it's just like a giant harvest festival because, as you say, it's full of so much produce. You know, we've got all the fruit and all the vegetables. There'll be roses, there'll be gladioli, there'll be dahlias, there'll be chrysanthemums and fuchsias, and it's in a huge marquee. So it is really a spectacle to behold. When you walk in there, you get that wonderful fragrance in the morning. So absolutely fantastic. And that's one of the beauties I always think of the autumn flower shows, because you don't get that at the early shows. You've got to wait until this time of the year until all that produce is ready and at its absolute best.
Absolutely, and to say locally produced produce is absolutely amazing, and because we'll see people from all over the Midlands, and we'll know we'll have Wolverhampton exhibitors there. There will be often fuchsias that have come from the Black Country Fuchsia Society and around and about. So you know we will be able to see the skills and the nurturing that's given to this amazing produce, and the size of some of these vegetables is always absolutely phenomenal, isn't it?
It is. I mean, in the Harvest Pavilion, there will be vegetables that are really good quality and a good size. But if you want the giant ones, then there's a separate marquee, and they are just huge. I mean, there are sort of pumpkins that you could hollow out and live in if you wanted to. You know, giant cabbages wider than I can spread my arms, and beetroots this big. So it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I don't know what they taste like, to be fair, Jason. I suspect they're a bit tough and woody, but they're just grown to often to try and beat world records. You know, the longest, the heaviest, the biggest, whatever. And quite a few of the growers that come to the Malvern show are in the Guinness Book of Records several times over.
Yeah, and to say it is always a treat not only to see them, but also, as you mentioned, the Harvest Pavilion. On the Sunday, very often there's a bit of a vegetable auction that takes place, isn't there?
There is, yeah. I mean, quite a lot, not only the veg, a lot of the flowers on the benches that people don't, you know, want to take back. They've been there and they sell them off. Yeah, they're auctioned off. So there's a bit of a mad scramble to get those. And you can pick up some really good things, you know, onions and carrots, and perfectly good to eat, of course. And you know, they've all been grown, you know, locally, which is great.
Giant cabbage I took home one year, absolutely massive. It filled the freezer, I tell you. But it was absolutely amazing, and it's nice to know it was an award-winning cabbage. It makes all the difference.
It does, doesn't it? When you've got that on your Christmas dinner plate, that it's an award winning, it does make the difference. Have you still got some in the freezer, or is it all gone by now?
It has gone now. This was a few years back on this one, but it was an absolute treat. So, I mean, you'll be down there and hosting once more, which is always another treat we have. And then you'll be one of the many personalities down there, and you get to meet so many people too, and chat with them about their wares.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky that I'm involved and hosting the potting shed stage. I mean, my first duty before that is I'm judging in the floral marquee, but then for the duration of the show, I'll be in the Harvest Pavilion with the potting shed stage. So we're on every day from 10:30 till 3:30 is the last talk, and we've got all sorts happening. You know, we chat to some of the growers from the floral market on all different subjects. We've got you know, talking about lilies and fuchsias is one that we're going to be talking about, agapanthus, pond plants, herbaceous perennials. Then we do talks through the day. So I'm going to be talking about bulbs, and we've got talks on taking root cuttings and house plants. So various talks. We do a mixed one that I do with my wife, Jill. She's the cook in the family. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about seasonal fruit and veg, and then Jill will be cooking with that on the stage and doing a main course and a pudding all in about half an hour. We do Q&A. So if you've got any gardening questions, and it doesn't matter what it is, it can be fruit, flowers, veg, lawns, house plants, you name it, we will give you hopefully an answer to all your gardening questions and a free gardening magazine and some seeds to take away and grow your own veg. We've got flower ranging. Jonathan Mosley is always amazing on the stage. He creates these stunning floral arrangements, and I don't know how he does it really. And Harry Anderson from BBC Gardeners World is going to pop along to see us, and a lady called Ellen Mary, who is again well known on social media. She's going to talk about well-being in the garden and houseplants. So yeah, there's something happening all the time on the stage there. So hopefully a lot of your listeners will pop down and see us and say hello. Let us know who you are.
That'd be absolutely brilliant to say. I'll be down there on the Friday and looking forward to having a catch up with you, Jill, at the time. I still haven't managed to nick any of her cooking. I've seen her prepping stuff, but I never yet have I managed to come down and try any of this.
Well, you've got to time that right then, Jason. Jill will be cooking. We're cooking 12:30 till 1. So our demos are every day on Friday through till Sunday at 12:30, sorry. So we finish about 1:10. So if you happen to be there about 1:15 at the back of the stage, I'm sure you could sample something.
Right, we'll try and make sure we arrange that this time, which should be an absolute treat. Full details on tickets, threecounties.co.uk. Just nip along there, click on the link for Malvern Autumn Show, and you can come along and enjoy harvesting the best of autumn, as they tell us on the website. Of course, we can find you and Jill online too at martinfish.com.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. And I think our Instagram account, I think it's Potting Shed Stage, and then Martin Fish Simply Gardening on Facebook.
And you can join in advance, and then make sure you get down there and get your questions in on the day and try some of Jill's cooking. Because it always smells gorgeous when I've seen the prepping stuff behind the scenes, but never yet have I succeeded in indulging. I will try and do that this year. Martin, always good to speak to you. Have a brilliant time at the show. I'll see you down there, and I look forward to the Malvern Autumn amazing show and the wonderful festival of food that it is. Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Jason. See you in a few weeks. Bye.
Between the 24th and the 25th of September, the Gruffelo is going to apparently be making some appearances at the Lichfield Garrick. Quite scary. I'm sure that everyone will remain quite calm under these circumstances. So, to tell us more, I'm joined now by both David Scotland and Eloise Warboys. Hello to you both.
Hello.
Right, so tell me more about this production and your parts in it, please.
I am David. I play the part of the Gruffelo in the production that we're doing at Lichfield.
Yeah, and I'm Eloise, and I play Mouse in the Gruffelo.
So quite good to have you both here at the same time without any ruckus or problems. So
we're getting along. He's not trying to eat me. So.
Well, this is it. And having picked up on bits of the story, and so many kids love this Julia Donaldson tale. I mean, it is an absolutely fantastic one. And the Gruffalo features all over the place, on lunchboxes and beyond. So, I mean, it must be great playing someone who appears on a lunchbox.
It's my dream come true. I've always wanted to be on a lunchbox, so I really feel like I've made it now.
This is good. I mean, it's 25 years that we've been entertained by the story of the Gruffalo, and this is something to brought to life on stage. I mean, that is one heck of a big part to be playing for both of you, because the mouse may appear small, but he's massive, and the Gruffalo, well, he's the Gruffalo. So, how does the story pan out on stage, or what can we expect to see?
It's a very physical show, so we really spent a lot of time in rehearsals getting the physicality of the Gruffalo and the mouse in our bodies. And so it's very visually exciting, and very exciting to play as an actor. But of course, we've got lots of beautiful set that's been designed. We've got some gorgeous lights and some songs. It's a very active, enjoyable, exciting piece of work.
And you've got to, bring the mouse to life in the bold way that we know the mouse can tackle any problem pretty much. I mean, the mouse is cool, and exploring the deep dark wood. I mean, that is going to be a little bit scary at times, though, even for mouse.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I think at first maybe I think in the show we also narrate the story, and in the beginning of the show, the narrators definitely try to scare Mouse, but deep down she is an extremely brave creature who goes against all odds to trick the Gruffalo. So even though the deep dark wood is very scary and unpredictable, Mouse has got her wits about her. She's very cool. I'm very lucky to be playing her.
And David, I mean, how much costume do you require for the Gruffalo?
Yeah, it's a big costume, because he's a big guy, the Gruffalo. So there's lots of different parts to it. It takes a little while to get on, but once it's on, it really does also help me to, be that character. And the costumes are all so beautiful, and actually they're so loyal and faithful to the book. So everything that it mentions in the book that he's got on his body is on that costume too, because the children know it back to front. So if there was anything missing, they'd be the first to let us know that we'd missed something all.
And I mean, in the parts you've played in the past, I mean, it must be interesting to play something this size because you don't get many jobs that are both this big and, in Eloise's case, so small. But still, to bringing such a massive story to life.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's a real honor and a privilege, and it also feels like a bit of responsibility, doesn't it? Because it is so well known and the children enjoy it so much. We really feel um, a good kind of pressure to deliver, the experience that they're hoping for.
Mm. It's also very exciting that because the book is so well known, lots of the audience members, lots of the children, they join along with the well-known lines that are spoken throughout the show, and it's this lovely feeling of togetherness and connection that you get with the audience. Yeah, it's great fun, and every show we get different reactions and different responses, and it's very exciting to put this lovely work onto the stage.
And you two are not the only two creatures on stage. There are more than just you two. I believe there's at least a fox in there as well. Who else are we meeting up with? As an owl?
Yeah, there's a fox, an owl, and a snake. And actually, Kemi, our co-star and superstar, he plays all three of those parts. So he's the fox, the owl, and the snake. So he's constantly whizzing on and off stage, changing costumes. And it's really amazing, actually, being on stage with him and watching him transform into the three very different characters.
Yeah, going from limbs to wings to no limbs at all is an interesting combination of roles.
Yeah, quite the challenge for him, but he's absolutely brilliant at it. It's his physicality. It's stunning, and I think delightful to watch him transform and morph into different beings.
And the team at Tall Stories have been around for just a little bit longer than this book itself. So I mean, they're experienced in bringing amazing stories to life for kids.
Absolutely, yeah. They've been doing it for so long, like you say, and they've covered so many amazing titles. They really are. I know as an actor, I've always wanted to work for them as a company, and they're so well regarded in the world of children's theatre and theatre in general, really. So it's great to get the chance to work with them. They're a very lovely company, and they take good care of us too.
Yeah.
And this is a 55-minute show. It's suitable for ages 3+. And what are your favourite moments, each of you?
Oh, good question.
I love the musical numbers. They're so fun, and they're very different from each other. And in a lot of the numbers, we give the kids and the adults the opportunity to join in with some of the dance moves, with some of the lyrics. So it's a really the songs are very interactive and fun, and they bring a lot of sparkle. So yeah, I would say the musical numbers they're super special.
Yeah.
David?
And without giving too much away, there's a moment where the Gruffalo has very direct interaction with the audience. That's always a fun moment for me to get to interact with the audience in that way.
Well, you can see more about the show at gruffalolive.com. You can hear about Tool Stories and the work that they do at toolstories.org.uk. Just as importantly, you can nip along to lichfieldgarrick.com to buy your tickets. Give the box office a call on 01543 412121 and get your details, get your tickets, get along. The 24th and 25th, it's a Tuesday and a Wednesday. Full details of the times online. But have a brilliant time. Break a leg. No fangs or tails damaged in the process, so please.
Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Now, September is Friendship Month and a time maybe when we can start thinking about extending our social network. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Dr. Veronica Lamarche, a friend, expert and psychologist, and the CEO of Oddfellows, Jane Nelson. Good afternoon to you both.
Good afternoon, Jason.
So first of all, Veronica, when it comes down to friendship, the way in which our minds work when we meet friends can be everything from the release of endorphins or the happiness of seeing someone we know and enjoy socializing with, through to just the anticipation of having some good times and maybe doing some of the things we do with our friends, like being social, going for a drink or something to eat.
Yeah, exactly. We can really connect and benefit from that friendergy or friendship energy, the buzz that we get connecting with others in many different ways. And that can be by sharing thoughts and experiences and being validated and feeling understood through those interactions. It can be uplifted by seeing other people doing good deeds, like by volunteering, and can also just be that sharing of positive energy when you're hanging out or enjoying a social experience with other people.
And Jane, when it comes to getting together to make friends, people of all ages can often sometimes struggle with that, however many social media friends they've got.
Oh, absolutely. I think everybody realizes that face-to-face connections is really, really important. And of course, that's what going to an Oddfellow event will give you during September and the rest of the year, in terms of people who just want to go out and think that they feel as though they need to make some contacts and have fun, basically, and enjoy life.
And Veronica, the experience of making new friends is also part of it as well, isn't it? Learning that you have something in common with a different group of people that you have done before.
Yeah, absolutely. So joining new groups and kind of venturing out and forming those one-to-one connections give you an opportunity to connect over something maybe you're both mutually interested in or interested in as a group, but also just having that opportunity to see that other people think and experience things the same way that you do. And that can be really validating and give you that positive boost. And that's why these one-to-one and in-person interactions can be so amazingly positive and beneficial.
And Jane, this is particularly important for the over 50s as well.
It is. I think people of that age, which includes me, get to life where they've suddenly got some spare time. They maybe have lost friends in their social circle. Maybe there's some life triggers that have happened that actually they feel a little bit less open to just going and talking to somebody they don't know. So this is a great opportunity for them to go along and actually in a safe environment and make new friends and just see what's on offer.
But Veronica, I mean, some people may feel they're a bit of a wallflower. Others know themselves as a social butterfly. But both of those can be both positives and negatives.
Absolutely. We all have different social batteries and we all have different levels of how often and how much we want to be connecting with other people. And those differences are completely normal and good. You know, it's about finding what's right for you. But both introverted people and extroverted people really benefit from connecting with other people when they find the way that works for them. And I think what we have to remember is that choosing to stay in because you'd really just feel like your social battery is low and you're looking forward to a calm night with Netflix is a very different experience than choosing to stay in because you're afraid of reaching out and afraid of connecting with other people. And what we really want is the people who feel apprehensive about connecting with other people realize that oftentimes it's our own insecurities that are getting in the way of those connections and not actually the connection with others. People really enjoy connecting with other people. They get the boost from it. You get the boost from it. So we have to kind of sometimes get out of our own ways and make use of these opportunities that exist.
Mm-hmm. And Jane, having a mechanism to help you meet other people is an important one. And this is where Oddfellows comes in.
Absolutely. Yeah. So throughout September, we've got over 300 taster events going on right around the country. So people can literally make contact with their local branch. They can find out all the details on the website. And if they feel a bit apprehensive, as sometimes people do, then they can make contact with the secretary in the first instance and say, I'd love to come along, but can somebody meet me at the door? so I don't have to walk into that room full of people. So they can be rest assured that they will be welcomed, and hopefully they'll have a good time. And there's so many different events going on: walks, talks, quizzes, lunches, afternoon teas, coffee mornings. The list is endless. So there's something somewhere for everybody to just join into.
Now, our local branch for Oddfellows at the moment is Stafford, so we're just up the 449 and about 20, 30 minutes away. And in some ways as well, the fact that it's not quite in the heart of the city centre in Wolverhampton could mean people feel less apprehensive, because sometimes strangers are less of an off-putting thing than local strangers, Veronica.
Yeah, I think people can often feel really apprehensive about interacting with strangers in general. And it's actually really important to know that the research suggests that people actually enjoy having a conversation with a stranger once they've had it more than they anticipated they would. And so what this means is once you kind of step out of that comfort zone and embrace the opportunity, you'll probably find yourself enjoying the experience a lot more than you were maybe worried that you would.
And Jane, whilst I note that a lot of your advertising for Oddfellows features people with very white hair, there are many people of many ages who are involved as well. I mean, you've got everyone from 0 through to 100 and however many.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think in reality, people, as we were talking earlier on, over 50s tend to be the ones with the spare time to want to go out and enjoy themselves. We always say Oddfellows are the friends you've not yet made.
So if people want to get involved, how do they join in and make the most of Friendship Month?
So they can go on the website, they can go on friendshipmonth.com, or they can go on www.theoddfellows.co.uk, or they can ring our membership team on 0800 028 1810, and anybody will be happy to answer any queries.
Yeah, and you can just search for the Oddfellows as well. But you'll find a whole range of different events, and including an offer for a Love to Shop gift card during September as well. So that'll be worth adding to, because you can go out and treat yourself to something with your new friends.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm convinced. Right, so it's going to be lots of fun for everyone to get involved, make friends, and it's not about influencing people; it's about having a social moment. So that's going to be good for all. Dr. Veronica Lamarche and Oddfellows CEO Jane Nelson, thank you both for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jason.
From the 2nd through to the 6th of October, Come to England is at Lichfield Garrick. It is the life of the amazing national treasure that is Floella Benjamin, brought to the stage and told as she travels from Trinidad into our hearts in the UK. We've got Julene Robinson, who is playing the amazing Floella Benjamin in the show, and she joins me now to tell me a bit more about what we can expect. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, good to talk to you. And you're portraying Floella from what, the age of 10 through until what sort of point in her life?
Till around 12 years old. It's a very short span of time. Because it's as soon as they left Trinidad and landed in England.
And we're looking at a time in the 60s when, sadly, racism was absolutely rife across the UK, so much worse than it is now, and we're still not perfect yet. So there's difficult times, and it must have been quite a challenge for her to arrive in the UK, and then a little difficult, at least, to tell the tale of the way in which she was treated as a child.
Yes, it was. And we explore that. We really don't shy away from that in the show. So you meet Floella when she is living this beautiful life in beautiful Trinidad. And when she comes here, she is met with a lot of discrimination, that she changed the way she spoke because of the education system. And we explore all of those things in the show. Yes. But she does overcome them, because that is Floella Benjamin, the woman who rises above all these obstacles.
Absolutely. And I know in the notes about the show, it says she had to work twice as hard as anybody else during her schooling days, because there will sadly have not only been racism from potentially some of her peers, but also from the teaching staff as well. And, the way that, she sort of work through to become someone who was iconic for me when I was a kid in the 70s, watching her on the likes of Play School and other TV shows. She really has been a true shining example to everyone of every background.
She is. She really is. And we've had the honor of meeting her. She has a fighter spirit inside of her, and she employed that fighter spirit in so many different ways that allows her to work hard, to use her mind and her brain to allow her to take up the challenge of going on play school and to become this beautiful pioneer for children.
Yeah, no, I mean, as now this is a long title, Baroness Benjamin of Beckenham. She's obviously gone on into being elevated into the House of Lords, and again, still continues to be able to make a difference the way she did once she made it onto TV. But looking at these 2 years of her life that you're telling the story on here, you've already said there are challenges which she wouldn't necessarily have expected. But to start off with, actually traveling from Trinidad to the UK with just her siblings, I mean, that must have been an amazingly traumatic journey in itself.
Well, when we explore it, we experience these events positioned in their minds, and because her parents, her dad Dottie wanted to come here to be a jazz musician, and mommy, facilitated that dream. So the children always had this this inspiration of expanding and exploring. So when they were on the ship, the children were alone. They thought they were coming on an adventure. It's when they got here that things kind of was not at all what they expected. But luckily, like Dottie and mommy were able to hold the family together while they wade through all of these difficulties.
Now, the stage adaptation itself has been put together by David Wood. He's the National Children's Dramatist, and an energetic musical. It's perfect for entertaining the whole family. So it's got many elements to it that help to tell the story.
Yes, it does, because Floella have been working with David for a really, really long time. So he has a deep inner understanding of who she is and her journey. And so she worked with him to include all of the journey that features the ups and downs in the smallest things, the big things that form this incredible, iconic Black British woman that we have today.
She is absolutely an inspiration, and it must be amazing playing someone not only real, someone you've had a chance to meet, but someone who has touched so many lives, from her educating kids on play school back in the day through to the work that she does now in politics.
Yeah, I don't take it for granted. When I had the opportunity to sit with her, I realized the gravity of the situation. I mean, I knew from before, but when you meet her in person and she exudes this aura of regality, and my job is to do that to the best in the way that she had to do, to work twice as hard to make sure sending this true, correct message energy that is also able to continue her legacy of what she did for children back in the day. So I have her blessing to make this beautiful show happen so I can, continue to tell Floella Benjamin's story.
Well, it sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm looking forward to coming along on the Wednesday night. So it runs Wednesday the 2nd through to Sunday the 6th of October. You've got the timings are interesting. Wednesday and Thursday, you've got an 11 a.m. and a 7 p.m. So that's ideal for schools groups to come along and see. Friday is a 7 p.m. and then Saturday it's 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. And then on Sunday the 6th, it is a 2 p.m. performance. LichfieldGarrick.com. 01543 412 is the box office number. Get your tickets, get along and hear a tale of it's something for literally all the family. There's music, there's singing, and you've got the inspiration behind a life which has been lived so well. And I'm so pleased for you to be able to tell it. Julie Robinson, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, oral hygiene has deteriorated for 1 in 4 children in hygiene poverty in the last year, and 1 in 5 are missing school as a result of it. To tell us more, I'm joined now by CEO of the Hygiene Bank, Ruth Brock. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jason. Thanks so much for having me on.
Well, good to talk to you, but obviously a worrying report once more. And often when we speak, we hear about some of the issues which are affecting people. And the Hygiene Bank does so much to not only help build self-confidence and allow people to be able to get on with their lives without worrying about the hygiene poverty which is out there, but when it's also affecting more of people's physical health and the shape of their teeth too, these kids are obviously going to be struggling, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what sort of, this campaign that we're launching with Boots this autumn is really about, is that we want to send children back to school with healthy smiles. And as you say, Jason, it's really, really deeply concerning for us that we've got 4.2 million adults in the UK who are living in hygiene poverty, 4.2 million. And that's increased by 1.1 million since we last did this report in 2022. That's the equivalent of the population of Birmingham in just over 12 months, which is just really, really something that I feel should be absolutely unconscionable in our society in 2024. But as you say, there are these specific impacts on children and young people and families who are struggling with dental and oral hygiene. And that does, as you say, have real implications for their long-term futures.
Mm-hmm. And again, keeping on top of your oral hygiene is a challenge for all of us. Cleaning your teeth is obviously one thing, but then flossing and using mouthwash and the like to really improve the situation to the best it can be isn't cheap. And it costs, quite a bit to go and visit the dentist too for adults. And obviously the kids we're talking about here will get free dental care should they be able to find an NHS dentist in their area. All of this adds up to a bit of a perfect storm of cavities and long-term issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not, as you say, just about sort of one small part of the issue. I think you're quite right. Dental and oral health products can be quite expensive. But as you point out, we don't all just need one product. We don't just need toothpaste. We don't just need a toothbrush for every member of our family. And the Hygiene Bank hears quite often from our community partners and our service users about families who have to share toothbrushes or families where children have never had a toothbrush of their own. This is about the fact that you have to be able to afford toothbrush and toothpaste and mouthwash and floss, as you say, but that we don't just need dental and oral health products. We also need soap and shampoo. We also need deodorant. We also need, you might need period products, you might need nappies for your children. And this kind of basket of hygiene products is what is really, really, that families are really, really struggling with the cost of all of those products. And that's why this research is showing us that families are reducing, the number or the quality of the dental and oral health products that they're able to access. And that, as you say, that's then having a knock-on effect on, the children's immediate kind of physical health. We know that the biggest reason for children being admitted to hospital is tooth decay. But that, in addition to that, as you say, 1 in 5 parents living with hygiene poverty tell us that their children are missing school because of those dental issues. And that, of course, is then having an effect, isn't it, on their long-term futures.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And whilst we already see way too many people in this situation, it's also quite clear that with the coming changes in taxation, etc., we are likely to see people who had disposable income able to support charities like yourselves having a lot of that taken away too. So we've got a concern ahead on not only what we do and to help people, but also with the reduced amount of money that many families who or currently are able to afford these things and not treat it as a luxury are going to struggle. So we are worried as we see the way things are going to go going forward. But with Boots donating 175,000 toothbrushes and toothpaste, this is an absolutely brilliant response from a company who for hundreds of years have been looking after our communities.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is such alignment between Boots and our charity, the Hygiene Bank, and our mission to help people to access the essential products that we all need to go about our days feeling confident and ready for the day. And we're so grateful to Boots for this brilliant initiative. As I say, we're working together to send children back to school with healthy smiles. But I would really hope that your listeners, Jason, could join the Hygiene Bank and Boots in that endeavour, that you could perhaps go into your local Boots store, find one of the Hygiene Hygiene Bank's yellow boxes and donate maybe just an extra toothbrush or toothpaste so that we can get that to a family who really needs it this autumn. Or you can go to our website, thehygienebank.com, to read more about this research and about the campaign, and maybe consider volunteering with us, because we are a volunteer-led charity. You know, we're working together. We are determined that this isn't a problem that we should be facing in 2024, and we're not waiting for anyone else to act. We're getting out there into communities right the way across the country, but across Wolverhampton as well, to really tackle this problem at source and make sure that we try and end hygiene poverty for good.
Absolutely. And so there are cost-effective ways of doing this. I mean, we talked about the expense of buying all the sets of all the things, but it is about products within a range. And I have a particularly favourite flavour of one of the value toothpastes, which works alongside my usual favourite, which is one of the Oral-B ones. So, you know, there's all sorts of choices out there, and things that we can hopefully afford to spend an extra, 50p a pound just to add to our baskets to help the Hygiene Bank.
Absolutely, there are choices out there, but I think what's really important to say in terms of people who are struggling with hygiene poverty is that those choices aren't always available. You know, the value toothbrushes and toothpaste that you quite rightly talk about, Jason, they are out there on the market. They tend to only be available in the bigger supermarkets, which you can only access if you have a car, or if you're not kind of juggling sort of shift work, or loads of different constraints like that, or if you have perhaps disabilities and it's harder for you to access kind of big supermarkets, you're only able to go shopping in your local area. Those value products sometimes aren't available. So I think from the point of view of our service users, it's brilliant in terms of donations that the public can give us, and we really, really welcome that. But I think it's worth bearing in mind that that isn't always available for people. It's not, sadly, it's not always the answer, even when those products are on the market.
And then they are making choices. That it is food, heating, being able to actually get to where they need to go for work.
Absolutely.
Or buy products which will help them feel more confident and have better health issues. And all of this work that you do at the Hygiene Bank, it's not only about physical health but mental health too. But the two absolutely go hand in hand.
They absolutely go hand in hand. They're inextricable. And you're quite right. Like 2 in 3 parents who are living in hygiene poverty have told us that they are choosing between products for themselves and products for their children. So that means, for example, that mums are choosing toothbrushes for their children, but they don't have period products for themselves. It means that dads are choosing toothpaste for their children, but they don't maybe have the razor and the shaving foam that they need to feel presentable and to go to work. Or even in some cases, we've heard about people missing job interviews because they didn't feel they could make themselves presentable enough to go to that job interview, which of course is like blocking the route out of these long-term problems. So it's no wonder that the majority of people who are living in hygiene poverty, over half of people living in hygiene poverty, report that they are more anxious and more depressed because of their difficulties. Why would you not be? It's an incredibly difficult situation to find yourself in and leaves you with impossible choices.
Now, the Boots Health Hub is also out there to give advice and educational resources. And so how do we find that, and what sort of things is that offering us?
Sure. I mean, you need to sort of go via the Boots website for that overall help, but you can come via the Hygiene Bank's website to find out specifically more about hygiene poverty and the activity of our charity in your local area.
Yeah, because I say it's huge. And if you discover that local to you there isn't an opportunity to donate to a part of the Hygiene Bank, you can help set one up too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have projects in Coventry and Solihull, and we've got amazing volunteers who are staffing those, but we badly want to set up more projects across the region. So if you maybe feel that the best way that you could contribute to ending hygiene poverty is to give a couple of hours of your time a week, we would love to hear from you. We desperately kind of want more volunteers to join the brilliant community of over 500 volunteers we've already got across the country. Our volunteers tell us that it's a really fulfilling experience, a really enjoyable experience, that they really feel a great sense of agency in being able to tackle this problem that we all agree just simply shouldn't exist in 2024.
Absolutely. And to say it could be maybe somebody or a church group or a Gurdwara group or whatever is already running some sort of food bank or help. And actually, with the support of your team, you could make a major difference to what they're able to do and allow them to get to more people.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of the Hygiene Bank model, is that we're not reinventing the wheel here. What we do is we supply food banks and schools and churches and refuges and homeless shelters with those daily essentials, those essential hygiene products, those essential toiletries that we all need every day. So if you are a community organisation like that, and you know that your service users would benefit from toothbrushes and toothpaste and laundry detergent and nappies and soap and shampoo, all the things that we all need every day, if you know that your local group, that your service users would benefit, then get in touch with us. And you can also register via our website, thehygienebank.com, to become one of our community partners.
So the hygienebank.com is where you go for all the information on all of this. There'll be links in there for absolutely everything, and the opportunity to get involved, and also to see the work that the likes of Boots are doing. As you say, there are also boxes you can drop off donations in store as well. So you can check that out in the store in the Manchester Centre and beyond, as Boots is in the community across our city. Ruth Brock, CEO of the Hygiene Bank, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jason.
From the 8th through to the 12th of October, Frankenstein will be at the Lichfield Garrick. Director and adapter Sean Aidan joins me now. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, good to have you along, and good to hear the tale of a tale which most people think they understand, but they always at least get the terminology wrong somewhere along the way.
Someone forgets which one's Frankenstein, which one's the creature, and everything in between.
So tell us a bit about the adaptation itself, because you've come at this from not so much a different angle, but sort of shed a new light on it, I think. Is that the easiest way of describing it?
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of a novel that a lot of people know and love, and also something that I think exists in popular culture. So even people that have never read it or never seen the film kind of know what Frankenstein means, just to a certain extent. And what's great about that is it kind of means it's ripe for reinvention and being played with. So we've kind of put it in a whole new setting, taking the major plot points, but putting it through this world of the 1930s, 40s, kind of ask what questions might happen if this was possible in this sci-fi world, and the kind of repercussions of it in this historical kind of context.
The whole concept of Frankenstein and the monster that Mary Shelley created is pretty scary in any context. So this is something which is going to, as we head towards the winter months, going to sort of trigger things in people's minds and what's going on and what could be done. And because there was electricity knocking around back in the time period you're looking at, so the reanimation scene, it can be just as electrifying as usual.
Yeah, exactly. Because we talked about how we could make it feel a bit more relevant to us today, but I kind of felt like we put it in the modern day. There's something not as scary about our clean hospital environments, but rusty old equipment fills me with a little bit of dread. So we kind of split the time period, and so we still have some fairly rusty equipment, some electricity, and some big old poles, but it is a little bit close to our present day, and I think that different context adds some different interesting questions. Yeah,
because it's almost as if it were to be possible, this is when it would first be possible based on what we know, rather than being entirely a work of fiction and fantasy. So you've got that sort of a terrifying edge of calling on an ethics, which is I've always been a question in there. I mean, what should and shouldn't you do? But also the humanity side of things as well. And I'm taking it that's not lost in your telling of the story.
No, exactly. And what it kind of means to be human, and whether if you stitch someone together and put a load of different people together, whether they be human or how they might feel about it, they might not be best pleased. And that kind of idea of memory and being, I don't know, untethered. What happens if you wake up and, you're fully grown and you've got no sense of the past, which can absolutely happen. But it's kind of really interesting, the knock-on effects, kind of thinking, okay, if this is real, and we put it in this world, what might happen, and what might this creature have to say about it? And I think that's what's really exciting and scary and kind of pitiful and sad as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's got all elements of human emotion in there and understanding how we work, and obviously Mary Shelley was, I assume, approaching that side of things as the questioning the way in which modern science was moving forward when she was writing, compared to obviously we ask all sorts of questions these days of modern science. So again, I think it grounds us for being able to have a bit of chat around not only the horror of it, but also, what do we do next as a species? I mean, this is almost telling a story that which could be acted out through AI. I mean, AI is that
exactly,
the new Frankenstein monster?
Exactly, and I think that's the thing. That's what makes this story so constantly relevant is that the question will keep getting asked as we move further forward, whether that's AI or robots or, you know, the ability to maybe spark life from nothing. You know, we're getting somewhere close to that, or kind of, you know, creating different, you know, animal structures, things like that, organs. Where does the line get towed, or even the ability to edit people in, you know, in the womb, which is something we're getting towards. You know, where does the moral line get drawn? But I would say it's all wrapped up in what is a kind of thrilling story as well. It's a real drama, and I think that's what makes it, yeah, so exciting, both the novel and hopefully what we've done with it as well.
And you've got quite a team who've done the doing alongside yourself here.
Yeah. So we've got this is the second time we've taken this out. So we took a tour out last year, and we're remounting it because hopefully because it went down really well. But yeah, we got some really lovely responses around the country. So it's really thrilling to kind of be able to take it out again, play with it again, and respond to the responses. That's the kind of great thing about touring. You know, a play feels very different everywhere across the country. You take it and you kind of listen to the feedback you get from it. When I say that, not just people kind of writing in, but you know, where certain laughs come or where people hold their breath, and you kind of learn about a play as it goes along. So it's really exciting to be able to explore it again.
Well, it's Tuesday the 8th through to Saturday the 12th of October. And how many cast will you have as part of the show? And maybe not too many secrets about how the creature comes to life, but something to tease us with there as well, please, sir.
Yeah, so it's a cast of 6. It's quite a tight, intimate story. I think what I wanted to create, particularly if you see it at the beginning, is the feeling of a kind of ghost story, because I think that's what's great on stage. It's all the anticipation of what's kind of creeping around that corner. So yeah, there's a lot of build up to our creature release, and we maybe play around with our expectations. As I say, everyone knows how the creature comes to life, so it's fun to be able to play with both the cinematic references of it, have flavors of that, and then maybe catch people off guard a bit.
But will they have a bolt through their neck?
No bolts, I'm afraid. I think I might even get in copyright infringement if I tried to do that. But it doesn't seem to me the most logical way to put someone together.
No,
Mainly stitches.
I think that sounds much more feasible. So as you said, it's the 8th through to the 12th of October, 7:30 evening performances, 2 matinees, the Wednesday and the Saturday at 2:30. Lichfieldgarrick.com to grab your tickets, or give the box office a call on 01543412121 and be part of a bit of horror, the excitement, the tales, the love, the loss, everything that goes along with normal life, only in the shape of Mary Shelley's story, adapted to bring it to life for a different age. Sean Aidan, director and writer behind this, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's great chatting.
That's a lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Back with episode 794 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.